Hey y'all, gonna be doing a new recipe, or not a new recipe, it's a family favorite of my husband's, and I'm gonna be doing this for Linda's challenge, the Four Corners Pantry challenge over at Linda's Pantry. What we're gonna be doing is inside outside ravioli, and what you're supposed to do is pull from four corners of your pantry, which are your refrigerator, your freezer, your pantry, your extended pantry, and you can also put your garden in there if you're taking stuff out of your garden. So what we're going to need for this recipe is some ground beef, a pound of ground beef. I'm going to be using some of my Zacon 93.7 ground beef out of my freezer. I also have some canned, but I'm not ready. I had time to prepare for this, so I'd rather use it from the freezer. Besides, I've got another 40 pounds of Zacon chicken I'm picking up tomorrow night, so I've got to make room for it. So there's from the freezer. From my pantry, I'm pulling my pantry and extended pantry, I should say, pulling from my tomato sauce. Got a 8-ounce can of tomato sauce here. If you have home canned, use that. Tomato paste, 6 ounces of that. These are the medium-sized shells. You can, if you don't have shell pasta on hand, you could use the twisted pasta. Just any kind of, or even the elbow macaroni pasta, that would be fine. Now it calls for a chopped onion. Everybody with me at the same time now. We got to leave the onion out. As you know, my husband doesn't like it, so no onion for us. I would be putting in there a cup of chopped onion. I am going to be putting some garlic, which I had in my refrigerator. So if you just have powdered garlic, you could use that. I am going to be seasoning the beef with salt and pepper, and I'm going to put some onion powder in there. I'm going to sneak some onion in there somehow or another. From the freezer, you're supposed to use 10-ounce package of chopped spinach thawed out. I don't keep frozen spinach in my freezer. I have canned spinach. If you have some home canned spinach, that's even better. So I'm going to use a can of spinach. Also calls for a jar of spaghetti sauce. I have spaghetti sauce homemade in my pantry, but I had this longer because I had run out of spaghetti sauce until I made some this summer, but I want to get this used up first. Some breadcrumbs, about half a cup of breadcrumbs. This comes from my pantry. And from the refrigerator, we got some mozzarella cheese and some sharp cheddar cheese. So that pretty much covers what the ingredients are. You could also, if this is put some mushrooms in this. This has already got mushrooms in it, so I'm not going to add any more. So you can pull a jar of mushrooms out, or a can of mushrooms out of your pantry. That'll work too. All right, so I'm gonna get set up to start cooking. I'm gonna brown my ground beef and season it up with the salt and pepper and onion powder, and we'll bring you back when we get started doing that. Alright, I was getting cans open and trying to get everything prepped a little bit for us. So I've got my ground beef in. I'm going to kind of break it up so it'll start browning. I've got a pot of water over here on the side that I'm trying to get to a boil, because I'm going to go ahead and cook my pasta while we're making the meat sauce to go in this. So while that's doing that, let's go ahead and we need, let's see, about a teaspoon of salt. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this and do it like so. 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper. Just, that ought to be good. There we go. And for onion powder, I'm just going to liberally just sprinkle some on there. I can't talk today. I just got off work. It's been a long week, and company I'm working for I've been there over 20 years, and we are merging with another company, or we have merged with another company. So things are a bit chaotic, to say the least, and we've got to get computer systems switched over and figure out product lines, and needless to say, they're making me earn my pay. So it's also going to be that's also one of the reasons I'm not been able to get as many videos done. I try to do one a week, but just forewarned folks that I'm doing the best I can on those. I wish I could do more. I really do, but I just do the best I can with it. Alright, so we've got that the meat seasoned, and I'm going to get it browned. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch that. So when we're ready for the next part, we'll bring you back. Almost forgot the garlic, so I've already got a couple in there, and I forgot to turn the camera on. So I did 3 little cloves in here, and that should be plenty to season this up. If not, when I taste it, I can always pull some garlic powder out and sprinkle on there from my pantry. I know everybody has garlic in their pantry, so okay. So alright, we've got that pretty well ground up. I'm going to let that last little bit of garlic kind of heat up just a little bit, and then I'm going to drain the grease off this. Really didn't have that much grease to drain off there. I just kind of really sopped it up with a paper towel. Over in the sink, I opened my can of spinach, and I've got it draining in a strainer. I'm going to save the juices out of that in case I need it to thin out the sauce if it gets a little thickened. I'm preserving the the vitamins. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and dump in my spaghetti sauce. And doesn't want to work. It's too big. Okay. And the tomato sauce. And let's see, I think we only, how much? Yeah. That was actually probably a little too much spaghetti sauce, but we won't use as much tomato paste in here. I thought that jar was a little big. Kind of needed a smaller one, but that's okay. It'll be fine. I may end up adding the rest of the tomato paste in there anyway. I really don't see any mushrooms in that. I wonder if they pulverized them. That or they're really small. Okay, so we're going to get this heating up. I'm going to bring it up to it's been a while since I made this. Bring it up to a boil, and then I'm going to let it simmer for about 10 minutes uncovered. So we'll see if it needs thickening up any or not. And in the meantime, let me, well, that's, like I said, got to simmer. I'm still waiting for my stupid water to boil over here so I can do the pasta, and we can start mixing in the filling kind of stuff. So, alright, we'll be back in a minute. I have to say, it really helps to get your water boiling if you actually turn on the burner. So, yeah, it's been one of those weeks, y'all. Alright, we're going to make what would be known, I guess, as the filling if you were stuffing raviolis. And I've got my spinach drained and in the bowl. And I forgot to say at the start, we will need 2 eggs. So let's go ahead and crack them in there and get them mixed in. And okay, I've already got a spoon in there, so let's mix that up. To this, we're going to add half a cup of breadcrumbs, and we're going to put the sharp cheddar cheese in here. Let's see. You know what? I'm not even going to measure that because I'm thinking that's pretty close to half a cup. And it's not. If it is a little over, it's not going to matter. I need to use them up. Okay, Alright, let's see if we're going to use 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. So this is 8 ounces. That's actually only a cup. Really? Oh well. We're going to make do. Going to dump it all in there. Should have bought a bigger package. It's just as well. We don't really need that much cheese, but it does call for 2 cups. Oh, I think that's plenty of cheese. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've made this, and Brian really likes it. So it does take a little time because it's going to have to go in the oven and bake. Okay, that's mixed up enough. And to that, we're going to add our pasta shells, our cooked pasta. Oop. All over the counter. I need a bigger bowl. This is gonna get messy. Yeah. And this is the biggest glass bowl I think I've got that was handy. Alright, I can't get that mixed up without dumping it all over the counter, so it's going to go. Solve that problem. Because I want to get it thoroughly mixed up. Nothing like being prepared. I tried. I do try. Sometimes best laid plans even don't work out. All that cheese out of there. Come on, get it. Okay. Much better. And get it slung around there. One of these days I'm going to invest in one of those really ginormous stainless steel bowls where I can. My problem is I don't have any place to really store the thing. Okay. I'm going to say that's mixed in good enough. So, scrape that off. And wipe off my hands. And what we're going to do next is I've got a greased pan over here. I've got my oven preheating to 350. I actually have it a little too high. Let's turn it down to 350. Okay. I've greased this 13 by 9 pan. And I think I'm going to put a little sauce down first. Kind of like you would make it a lasagna. Just throw a little bit down there. Good enough. And let's dump our filling in here. Sorry if you hear my dog in the background. He's scratching his ears, and apparently it feels really good. He's also the one you hear wheezing in the background all the time. Alright. And we're going to dump the rest of the sauce over here on top and spread it around. And this is going to go into the oven. I'm going to cover it because my oven tends to get a little hot, over hot and burn things. And about the last 5 or 10 minutes of cooking, we're going to pull it out and put the mozzarella cheese on top. So I think you could actually make this ahead of time if you wanted to and stick it in the refrigerator and just, you know, make sure you've got one of those dishes that can go from refrigerator to oven. And we're also going to get a little garlic bread going. Didn't have time for homemade, but we do. So, alright, there we go. it's ready. Like I said, I'm going to cover it, and then we're going to put it in the oven for, yeah, well, it says 40 to 45 minutes. I'm thinking I'm going to check it at 30. So going to be kind of a late dinner tonight. That ought to make husband happy. All right, pulled this out of the oven, and I have spread our mozzarella cheese across the top. Had just an 8-ounce bag, which probably be plenty. Might go a little bit more next time. So I'm going to stick this back in there for another 10 minutes without a cover on it. And we'll be back to plate it up and let you know how it tastes. Okay, here's our finished plate. Let it cool off a little bit so I can take a taste test. I've actually had this recipe for quite some time, and it kind of got shoved to the back of my recipe box. So when I was going through trying to figure out a recipe to do for this challenge, I was glad to come up across this, because it's kind of like a lasagna with spinach in there. So let's take a bite, get some meat. Yep. Good. And I'll be eating leftovers on this for a little while because it's just the two of us. Anyway, I'm going to put the recipe below in the box so you don't have to worry about trying to go back and write everything down. I'll be in the description box below. So here you go. This is my 4 Corners Pantry Challenge recipe to share with y'all. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll answer you as soon as I possibly can. I want to give a big shout out and welcome to all my new subscribers. I've been getting quite a few of you in lately. I think mainly because of Dan at home in the sticks doing a mail call on something I sent him. So thank you, Dan. And welcome everybody. I'm glad to have you with me. So I'm going to go finish my dinner. Thank you for watching. God bless, and we'll see you next time.